And now, Effective Communication with Phil Zeller, CEO, Dale Carnegie, Southwest Michigan.
Question for you. What is the value of your thoughts? The value of what you think and why you think it? Have you stopped to think about that for a moment? So there I was, a high school teenager, and I was running track. Loved to run. Was a sprinter. And I remember I'd go to all these track events, and I really loved the sport of running when I was a kid, and it was an escape for me. It was a way that I dealt with life's issue, as I was one of those guys who would go run and work out and stuff, so I didn't get upset with other people. It gave me a way to deal with my worry and my stress in my childhood. And actually, through that, I got pretty good at running. And I remember I used to go to my track meets, and things were very competitive for me, like they would be for anybody. And I was out there because I was in it to win it, like any high school athlete is. You know, most all of them there are trying the best they can to win that game or win that sport. And I can remember one day I came home from a track meet. My dad was really upset with me because it was an all-day-long Saturday invitational. And he said, "Where have you been all day? We've had work to do all day, and you've been out screwing around. We got to get work done." And I remember I was really proud of myself that day because I in my hand, I had 3 gold medals and a silver medal. And the maximum events you could run were 4 events. And I was really proud of what I did that day. And I was going to share it with my dad, but my dad was so angry at me because to him, by me going to being at a track event, at a sport, I was not working. And for that, I deserved to be punished because I was out playing instead of working. And so that day, I took my punishment from my dad for not being around there to work that day, and I never shared with him those medals until after a while, my blood started to boil in me, and I went back to him, and I said, I never see you come to any of my sporting events, and I said, I could understand if I was an awful runner, and I never won anything, and I was awful, and you'd be embarrassed at me why you wouldn't come. But I said, actually, Dad, I'm pretty good at what I do. And you might do yourself a favor to come out if you want to be proud of one of your kids and come out and watch me. Just watch me. And he had never been to any of my sporting events, never came to my football games, didn't come to my track events, didn't come to anything because in his mind, that was a waste of time. It wasn't working. And I laugh about it because there was a movie not long ago about a Formula One race car driver, Gran Turismo. If you watched it, it was probably like his dad wanting his kid to play soccer and the kid wanted to race cars, right? And, sometimes you got to do what you feel is best and take even the punishment and agree to disagree with somebody who's telling you otherwise. But finally one day my dad listened to me, and I was running an event. It wasn't far from home, and he came out to this track meet, and I was running a 300-meter. And I remember I looked up in the stands and just remembering that moment, I'm like, I saw him. I couldn't believe he actually showed up. And I don't know if you ever had this experience where somebody showed up and you had no idea they were going to show up, but it gave you a motivation. And it gave you a motivation that day to say, you know what, I'm going to prove to him what he's been missing. And that day I ran 300 meters in 34 seconds. Oh, I was flying. I cooked the competition that day in my meet. Now, I realize some of you are Olympic runners and run faster than that. That's okay. But 34 seconds for a guy out in the middle of Michigan was pretty dang good. And I was pretty proud of myself. And at the end, I realized why I did that, because I had that motivation because my dad was there, and I wanted to prove to him that I was worth watching to compete. I wanted him to be proud of me. I wanted him to appreciate me. And that's what we want from our parents. And every kid wants that. That's why a kid says to you, hey, watch me do this, because they're looking for validation. And we all, when we do a gut check, we realize we all as human beings need that validation, who we are, what we do. And I want you to think in your mind, what is the value of your thoughts? Why do you do what you do? What keeps you on your game? What challenges you to push yourself to the next level? It's your thoughts. It is so interesting because Dale Carnegie said, by far the most vital lesson I have ever learned is the importance of what we think. If I knew what you think, I would know what you are. Our thoughts make us what we are. Our mental attitude is the X factor that determines our fate. So what you think, value your thoughts. Realize that your thoughts are going to bring you success. Your thoughts, no matter what they are, use them to motivate you to do something better. Challenge yourself to step up. Not because somebody said you had to, but because in your gut you said, you know what, I'm better than this. I can do better. I can push myself, and doggone it, they're going to understand. I can make good things happen, and I'm going to do it. And if you hold yourself accountable to your thoughts, you can execute on those thoughts, and you can prove to other people you are of value. You do make a difference. Now go make it happen.